Oh, you're welcome, members who are on board. Thanks at Joan, thanks at Casa, thanks at WordPress. Oh, I'm Benjamin. I'm going to take you through migrating a WordPress without the use of plugins. So I'm going to discuss for like 20 minutes, then we do a practical out. But I'll get a volunteer, don't mind. But I will be there to guide. I have reasons with my server credentials. Simple as that. So I made the PDF or the PowerPoint, which is very simple and easy to understand. So it's using WordPress content, WordPress config, and database. So I might be a bit faster, but you will review the video after recording. So first of all, why we migrate without plugins? First, we need to have full control and transparency. We avoid plugin dependencies. Works on restricted hosting. There are some hostings which don't support ports. To say, if I'm to use FTP, port 22 is blocked. For example, if I'm to use some plugin connecting another port, it becomes hard. So to say on Namecheap, if I'm to use Namecheap hosting, they usually don't give us a terminal in case I need it. So the port for the terminal is always, or SSH is always blocked. So you might find that some ports are blocked and there's no way you can transfer the files, and you need the use of migrating without plugins. Another part, there is where the host has set the amount of files to transfer, like the GBs, the data to be transferred. At times they set to 2 GB, 4 GB, depending. So if you have a bigger file, you might end up failing to transfer your files well. Even another thing we avoid is network. At times we'll be using a plugin and the network fails and anything lags. So you end up losing the work. So ensure you understand WordPress structure. So if I go to another part, we're going to see the overview of the WordPress structure. WordPress is made of files and database. That's what is in the structure. We have files and database. Files have code, configurations, uploads. In database, we have posts, pages, users, settings. Both are essential in migrations. This is what we have in the WordPress structure. So if we go in deep, I will have a folder which is WP admin. Let me first go back. I download a bit of I download a bit of WordPress here. If I go to WordPress, let me go here. Okay, so here WordPress has versions. We need this. Also, there is an installation guide if you need it, but for us now we don't need it. So as it's downloading, let me go back to my slide. It was 3 slideshow. So we have a made of files and databases. So in the files, we have WP admin folder. This folder contains everything you see on the WordPress dashboard, the back-end code you saw on the dashboard. It controls WordPress admin area, and you cannot customize it directly and can be replaced from fresh install. Every time you get a fresh install, you are getting that folder by default within WordPress. Then we have another folder called the OP includes folder. This contains core WordPress functions and classes. If we are aware of classes and functions, but we have a section where we look into this. It powers WordPress features. Should never be edited manually. Also replaced from fresh install. Then we come up with a WP content folder. This is our main folder we need always in migration. This is important folder for migration. It contains all customization. Everything you download, every plugin you download, every upload you do is always in WP content folder. So this folder, you can move with it everywhere. You can go with it in China, Kenya, Tanzania, everywhere. And you leave the WP admin, and that includes. The moment you download the WordPress, you get those WP admin and include. But this is essential because our theme, plugins, uploads are always here. Must always be copied when migrating. So, inside the theme, we are going to look into that. We have this theme. You can have various themes, but always all the themes will be installed in WP content. There are times at points where you want to deactivate a theme and you find the server is failing. You just go to inside the WP content, you turn it off or you delete it out. So that the theme will be gone. There are servers where you fail if you are hacked. At times you're hacked. You try to download some theme which has been infested in, and you fail. Just go to your file manager, go to the WP content, go to themes, delete it out. Or you can give it permissions and delete it out. So this defines the layout and design. Every layout and design is always in the theme. Migrating themes ensures same look and feel. If you move the WP content and you move your theme within, that means the exact looks of the previous will be the same with the current. Active themes settings also stored in database. Every theme you activate, the settings are into the database stored there. That's why we move with our database folder. So these are themes which are inactive. Trust me, you will never move with that. You will never move with the data. The theme won't move with the database as well. Again, you have the plugins inside the WP content. Let me go back. I think this is done. Yeah. Okay. Let me open it here. I think you can see my screen. So WordPress has these 3 files. This is the WP admin. It contains all the admin settings of the WordPress, the footer, the functions, and every other thing. No need to add this. We have this WP includes. It contains the blocks, the certificates, the CSS, customize the font, everything, the assets. Mostly assets, we have script loaders. We shall look into that because it's not our main part. Then you have these files. These are the files index.php, the entry point of the WordPress. We have the license, the readme, the activate. These are files which are ending with PHP. So this is our main. It has this. It has a plugins. So by default, remember they give us Aximeti, a plugin which comes by default. If you see, we have the themes. We have 20. You have seen this, 2025. We have seen 2024. We have seen 2023. These are the themes, the screenshots. If we are to look into it, how it is, that's how it always be. It's you have seen it before. So we have also in the theme, we have the assets, the font, the images. So I can say to edit my theme here. If I need to change the footer, for example, if I need to change the footer of my theme, I can do it from here. Once I open it here, we shall look into that. If I open it here, let me just open with this. So if you find that your footer is disturbing at times, you can edit it from here. This is 2020. This is the footer. Wait a minute. Footer columns, footer news, footer header, sidebar. Let me check with this a little bit. Oh, still it has the same. Okay, we shall see how we can add them. If I'm to go back close, I don't want you. So all our this is 2024, this is 2023, and all our plugins are installed here. So if I'm to go back here, so plugins add extra functionality to the site. So for example, if I want a plugin for PayPal, it will add functionality. If my website or my WordPress system is not allowing payment gateway, I'll get that plugin of PayPal. I add it, it will add some extra functionality. So examples, SEO, we have seen SEO plugins, for example, to say all-in-one and others. We have seen security plugins, we have seen form plugins. So they must be moved and kept features working. Settings stored in database files in this folder. These plugins are stored in our database as well. Then we have uploads inside, stores uploaded media, images, PDF, videos, documents, media library, WordPress depends on this. Losing it, it means broken images. At times we move our files and you find that the image which should be shown is not visible. That means that image is broken because we have lost the upload file. So at times, if we come to our structure here, where are you, Mr. Structure? If we come to our structure here, you may ask yourself, where is the upload? You may ask yourself, where is the upload folder? So the upload folder will come in when the moment we upload the file, it will be created by the functions of WordPress. So we have to keep it as essential. Then you have this WordPress config file. It's also essential in transferring our files. This config file contains a WordPress database. It contains the database name, the user, password, host, security keys, and so on. Tables prefix must be updated on a new server. So we move with it. So let's look into this folder. The file. Files are always .php folders. The folders are always a briefcase. So let me look into the WP config file. For example, where is it? Where are you? It comes like WP config.sample -sample, but I usually do edit it. I rename it to WP config. I remove this sample, so I rename it. So if I'm to open it and we look into what's in, let me open with this text editor. So here we have this is not essential. These are comments. We know how comments look like. This is the major part we need. So here in this folder, what we do, we define our DB name. A DB name, we can put our DB name here. I call it test DB. Again, we define our username depending on the hosting. At times hosting, for example, if I'm using VLAN, it can be VLAN underscore. The user, it can be test. Same applies to the DB. It will be like VLAN underscore. If I'm hosting, we're hosting, which is Hostinga. At times it can be Hostinga or my hosting name, like that. But if we're on localhost, we can do this. DB user times on localhost, we use root. Then the password at times, since we use XAMPP, passwords are always left empty. Then this is host, is always localhost, but there are times where we can change to 127.0.0.1, which means localhost, depending on your configurations. But by default, we should always leave it like localhost despite being on a server. And then these are character sets. We have a lot of character sets in databases. So the other part we have this authentication key, the secure auth key, login key. Now is this number once? Something is assigned once. We have sorting. This is encryption of our passwords. Again, we sort it, logged in sort. Then another thing which we have here, we have this table prefix. which is called WP a prefix. Then also we have another one called debug. In case we want to see our errors, we can turn this to true. So it's always easy to identify the error which is affecting your site in case you have any problem. But by default, we keep it to false. At times our versions are not clear. So that's our WP config folder. It contains that. So every time we get a new server, we have to edit it or update it to match our servers. So we have also a database that can be MySQL or MariaDB. I don't think that WordPress uses Postgres. However much Postgres is SQL, but mostly we use MySQL and MariaDB. Store our site's content and settings, posts, pages, users, comments, menus, plugin, theme settings are always stored in the database. So we have critical for migration table. Tables include WP posts, WP users, WP options. These tables are essential. Then if we go to another important file is index.php. This index.php is always the entry point of WordPress. If we don't have our index.php, that means our WordPress, we won't be able to access our WordPress. So this index is the entry file of WordPress by default. So don't tamper with it. The moment you tamper with it, you hire Joanne to set it for you. Then we have htaccess. Those who have seen htaccess files, these are permalinks, redirect rules. So some people say I don't have my htaccess file, it's lacking, but things became easy. You just come here, you say WordPress.htaccess files. So when you come here, they will show you here the WordPress. So they will show you all the htaccess files. They will show you basic. This is the basic, which will call our entry file, which is index.php. Then you have if we are using multi sites, we go with this. Again, if we are using subdomains, we can go with this. If we are using the versions, there are a lot here, so you get help with yourself. And at a point, if this is, we use htaccess if we are using Apache, HTTPD, but also we have also Nginx. These are web servers. So also we have Nginx, depending on your configurations. So this is the Nginx file. So we shall get a day we look into how to set it up if you find a client who is using Nginx. If you are installing your WordPress on a bare metal, so we use this. So we get to learn how to write these htaccess files if we get time. So by default, let me check out a little bit. By default, I don't know whether I have .htaccess file here, but okay, I can create. Anyway, let me just leave it like that. Let's see. Open terminal. htaccess. Anyway, I don't know where it is, whatever. So htaccess is always vital. We shall look into it. It's always vital. Then you have wp-load.php. It loads Bootstrap, WordPress. Most licensing files can be from fresh install. This is another important thing to note. So again, you have essential for migration. When you are migrating, we look onto the three things which are very essential. We look for WP content, which are our theme, plugins, and uploads. We look onto the config file and the database. Those are the only things we need to migrate. So when we install, we'll get the WP admin and includes can come from any fresh install. So we don't need to move with that. So we move with these 3 ticked files only. Then what you don't need to copy, the WP admin, the includes, you don't need to copy that. Only migrate custom and database related files. Step 1, we back up our old site, download WP content, config, export database, always backup before. In case anything goes wrong, we have the backup aside. Then set up a new server, install fresh WordPress, delete. When we install a fresh WordPress, we delete the WP content folder because we are going to upload the old WP content folder. Then we replace the WP config file .php with the correct values like the DB name, the localhost, the DB user, the WP prefix. Then again, we come here, we import the database, create a new database, assign full privileges like access, delete, edit, download. Then import SQL via phpMyAdmin, then verify tables were imported. Then again, step 4, update WP config. We update this DB name, DB user, password, and host. Ensure the table prefix matches. We are going to look into that. Step 5, update the site URL. If the domain has changed, we update the site URL. We go to database, the WP options table, we see the site URL, site home, we change that. Or we can use an SQL command where we say update the WP options set, option value HTTP. This is the domain name where option name in site URL and home. That's for the geniuses, but we can learn it still. Again, we have the final check. Visit the site and test login. We set permalinks, that's in settings, permalinks, and save. Check the media, plugin, themes, fix broken links. If the domain changed, confirm site is working smoothly. Migrate summary, export the WP content, config, install WordPress on a new host, replace WordPress content, config, import database, update site URL needed, test everything. And then I think the last part, best practices, always backup before migrating, use that staging environment for testing, keep WordPress updated, secure WP, and optimize database for after migration. So before we go further, let's go to questions, then we go to a practical bit of it. I know I've been faster, but it's normal. Any question?
Right. Thank you so much, Benji.
Yeah.
Anyone with questions before we move on to the practical session, please feel free to lift up your hand. You can alternatively type them in the chat, and then we can summarize them.
Imagine I'm a total beginner. I know very little about WordPress. There are a few options that you've talked about, especially when it comes to database and web servers. You talked about MySQL or MariaDB. Which one would you advise people to go with? Which one is better? And then when it comes to the web servers, the options that you gave, which one can somebody go with in case they are faced with an option, if they are to decide which one to use?
Okay. Thank you, Madam Joanne. Let me start with the web server part. We have two cases. We have one case whereby we are using if you are using hosting like Hostinger, Namecheap, Hostalica, GoDaddy, there is no need of using Nginx. There already those hosting panels come with Apache installed. So Apache by default is in. So here what we have what we call XAMPP. So mostly what we call it XAMPP. It's a web server. If we are using localhost, it's a web server. This XAMPP stands for who can tell me what X stands for? Just say it out loud.
Do you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you for the wonderful work that you're doing. But X I think stands for cross-platform, to
Yes.
mean that it can
Then
work on multiple operating systems.
perfect. Then S stands for Apache. Then M stands for MySQL. Then P stands for Perl, and lastly PHP. So mostly these hosting panels use Apache. But if you're going to use a VPS, virtual private server, or a dedicated server, which is a bare metal, here we shall need to install. We can do a Apache configuration. At the same time, we can do the Nginx configuration. But if you are a total beginner in hosting, all in sites, don't attempt to use Nginx, and don't attempt to use virtual private servers. Always use third-party hosting companies like Namecheap, GoDaddy, or Stinger, because they said this for you. Your work will be upload your site, set your configuration, and go on. Any error that comes about, they configure it for you and they troubleshoot. So for the meantime, if you're a total beginner, always use Apache. It has little configurations, that's in htaccess. So if you go in Nginx, that's when we shall set up the let's encrypt SSL certificates, point to the IP, set area codes, do that. It's very stubborn and hectic. Then for the database, always I recommend one to use MySQL other than MariaDB. It's PHP my admin. I pray it routes out. At times it's stubborn in route. Okay, so this is our database, how it is. So this is MySQL, but there's where we used to change them around here. We used to change them to MariaDB, something like that, but I don't recall. So we used to change them from somewhere. But this is SQL. So I recommend everyone to use SQL, which is very easy to use and it's user friendly. And the correlations, there are these ones, UFTP, General CI, and others. So now, let me try to install my localhost and the WordPress we see. I'm going to install localhost. Then we have our volunteer who will do the online. So first of all, if I'm using XAMPP and I've downloaded my WordPress file, it's here. I can rename it and call it, okay, let me go with it. If I come to opt, we always store in htdocs, those who have done localhost stuff. I paste it here, so I can rename it here, like rename, I call it test. Let me call it Joan Casa. Perfect name. Okay, so these are my files in here. So when I come to here, my local host, I'll call this file of mine because I put it in XAMPP. So my XAMPP acts. So it's saying database connection established. This is an error because my database is not being seen. Reason being, I tampered with it at a certain point of here, tampered with it. So this error will tell you the database is not seen. Reason being, we are not having this database. So there are some errors which are common and we face them. So this is, we have test DB. So it's saying that database is not found in there. So what if I put on the debug? I turn it to true. Now I want to see what is the cause of the error and where is it coming from. however much we know where it's coming from. Let me go back to here. They will say unknown database test DB is unknown. You get the point, eh? Database server could not be connected. Username and password is okay. So I get to know, oh, I'm lacking my database. Okay, let me go there. Let me see this. Let me copy it up. Then come here, send new, create new database. Then I say create. So the moment I create, then I load my site. The error is gone. That means what was disturbing us was the database. So if the error is gone, what if, let me check. What if I change this user root to say, what will it tell me? That the user localhost using database user at localhost is access denied. That means my user is always root. What if I have a password, but I never set it in my side? Still, they will tell me access denied. The user is using password, but my PHP admin is configured not to use a password. So these are common errors we always face in WordPress. Simple errors. So which we need always to debug at a faster rate. So I can turn off this and I put it back to false, so that I don't get challenges. So when I load here, they will say my database there. I'll call my site. I say this is a test username. Let me use here. They say usernames can only be alphanumeric characters, spaces, and what. So let me call a username as admin. Then the password at Italian Job 1992. I love this movie. Then the email, I can use this, so I can discard. Then I say install WordPress.
I hope you don't use your real password.
Nothing you're going to get from me. I'm a normal. So let me check as it's loading. The files are here. So this is the file I told you. We have when we come here, everything is chosen, admin, then I choose my password, I log in. Everything is installed. Then I usually forget the passwords. Admin at Italian Job, Italian Job. I always forget them. Hey, let's pray it logs in. Yeah. So now, this is what we have. Everything you see here is in WP admin. Everything you see here is in WP admin. Never edit it. So if I come here, I'll get the users. This is my folder. This is the user admin, and this is the password. At times you can change these passwords. This password is encrypted, but it's hashed. This is the password hash. It's this one here. So then when we look into something like this, this is the prefix, the table prefix. So there are some sites where we find our table prefix having X, Y, Z, and others. So here we have to edit it. So if we find WP here, okay, let me take a scenario here. My file, where are you file? If my WP prefix is X is okay, is CCSS. Also here, the prefix should be SS. SS. So these things should always be the same. The table prefix. Then comment, links, options, those are minor, but we focus on the WP options here. This is where we have, if we are moving to a new site, this is where we edit our domain here. So I'm going to do this as we are going to test it. So since we are going to test it, let me do it here. Sorry, my server has a problem, but I will do it here. I know we shall handle. let me come again here. So I copy, I paste here. I call this site, rename, I call it Benjamin. I rename, okay, wait, rename, Benjamin. I rename it as Benjamin. Let me open it. Then I go here. I rename this. Sorry, not renaming. I open it. Let me just use test db1. Test db1. I save. Okay, test db1. So if I want to, let me do this. Locust slash Benjamin. The database is not there, still the same thing. There's something I want to show you here a little bit. So I'll come here, I create the database test db1. So once I create it here, I come back here, I load. So site tests, the database still, let me use the same. Okay, email, I install it. So if I come to test db1, I want to show you something here. If I come to test db1, I come to WP options. You see this URL. This one has it has Benjamin, and as well as this one here. This one here has with options here. It has Joan. So that means anytime we migrate a site, we always have to check this WP options folder. Then we edit our URL here. Now let me, okay, yep, perfect. Oh, stubborn. Okay. Let me call it admin. I don't know whether it's still the same. I've forgotten it. That's my usual way. So we mind of that. We mind of these files. This is the option. This is the essential file. Because
You
after
called it
editing,
SS. The admin is SS.
Yeah, I've left that part. I want to go back. Okay. So you're fine. Yeah. If I want to check also the admin here, I can come as well here and check the admin login. I add the login from here. If at times I forget the login, I say admin. Then after saying admin, I come and save. So when I go back to login as Benjamin, So sorry, I did not sign out. Okay, something anyway. I don't know why it has come like that. So we look onto these file options. It's very essential in migrating. We have to change this as well. Don't forget, this site can be, I can say it's localhost. I call this site Joan Casa. That means I've changed to this. If I'm changing to another domain, I save. So those are the essential files. Now, kindly, I'll request to have a volunteer who is having any site. We can use that site to on a subdomain. You help us move a site, and we see how things work. Sorry, my hosting is having some issues, but any volunteer is welcomed.
Let me try to spin up a subdomain and install WordPress and then share my screen.
Okay, thank you very much. That's why I use the name Joan Casa. You can pose questions, then we go to the real migration. We see what we move and what we leave always. Yeah, that's good. So let's go to the sub. Okay, good. You have cPanel. Okay. So now, okay, that's it. Now let's install WordPress in there. What do you use to install WordPress? Okay. Yeah, this should take us some few little minutes. You are really a WordPress guy.
We're done.
Okay, we are done. Reload, we see. Okay, now, which site are we going to migrate here? First, go to the other site, we look at it. Just visit it, we look at it, so that we migrate the exact thing. Eh? Just open a site we are going to migrate, we look at it, how it looks like. Just open it, we see it. No, not there. Just, is it on low cost? Eh?
Yes, I'm using WordPress Studio.
Okay, fine. Let's have that low cost one, we look at it, so that we can migrate it. Eh? We can migrate it to the host to, you get it?
So this is the one.
Okay, good. Okay, now let's go to the files. Let's go to the file manager.
To where the files are?
Yeah, on low cost. Then we zip our WP content folder only. Zip only the WP content folder. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
It's done. Then we go with delete on the server the other WP content folder which is installed on our subdomain.
You said we delete.
Yeah, we delete it on the subdomain.
So we go to cPanel.
It's in file manager. Yeah, good. Delete that one. Click on it and delete it. Eh? Then let's upload ours. Yeah, perfect. Then after that, okay.
As that uploads,
let it upload. Wow, perfect. Okay, perfect. Now, then another thing, let's go to our database low cost. Let's first go to our database online. First check in the file, we see the database name. Eh? You click on it, there is a word, okay. So our database is Moses WP 157. Eh? Okay,
yes.
let's go to the PHP admin online.
For this server, right?
Yeah.
Here.
That's the one. Then let's check all of them here down, check, yeah, and also come here where they are, yes. Then drop everything. Select drop, eh? Yes. Okay. Perfect. Then you are going to go on local. We pick the other database. We upload it here. Export database. Okay. Save. Okay, now we are taking our okay, it's here. Then we go to the online server. We export this database. Why do you use Studio?
I think it's to me the best tool for working with WordPress.
Okay. We come to import. Then browse. Then we look for that. Okay. That's good.
I import.
There is a kawadi over somewhere where down there. What is it saying?
Unknown collection.
So now what we are going to do, if we're on 5.7, we are going to change to Unicode. Search and replace. Okay, so what we are going to do, we are going to change to Unicode. So let me give you this Unicode. These are the errors we shall always face. So that's the one I've shared.
I replace it here.
Yeah, we are only going with that. We are only going with that. It's the
Okay.
small one. It's Unicode. UTF. Yeah. Place it there. You can okay. Even it's down. It's on another table still. Find a replace. Okay, in all files. Good. Okay.
We are replacing it with Unicode, right?
Yes. Okay. Now let's upload and we see. That error should be gone. We should not see that error again. So as we go along, we should also learn it of the character sets and others. Okay, now it has been uploaded. Perfectly fine. So those errors are always in there, but don't worry, people. Now let's do this. First, go to our site. We see if we are good to go. We see what we are now. What we are lacking. If we load, I know we are going to get errors. Now it's asking for installer. Why is it asking installer? Let's look into our WP config folder. Then this is Moses, this is this, and this is the root, this is the localhost. Okay. Okay, now let's go to let's check our go back to the database online. Our database we have just imported, it has the prefix of WP. You see this prefix is WP. So we go to our config folder and we make it WP. Make it WP. Okay. We save. Then another part, let's go to our, you're loading. Let's go to our site URL in the WP options. The WP options, it is pointing to this. So let's ensure it points to our site online. Also add that. Okay, let me see whether we are moving with the trailing dashes, slashes. Okay, it's okay. Now let's go and reload the site and we see. Okay. Now the LP's block theme was called incorrectly. The function should be called theme directly is registered. Debugging, please see this message was added in version 6. Okay, hey, sorry. Okay, for my was added. First, go and remove that bug we see. Okay, first. Okay, updates. It's okay.
And to run the updates.
Yeah. In fact, okay. You still have a 2020 to old version upgrade to temporary back. Okay, go to themes page. Okay, you can disable this. You had the theme of
2025.
Okay.
Oh, the theme is broken.
A little bit. This is 20. You had 2025.
Mm.
No. You just reinstall go to the app there, go to the WordPress versions, updates. Then let's click on reinstall. Yes. Okay.
I know where the problem is. We did not extract when we
Sure.
uploaded WP content.
Go and extract the kale. Bannange awo nawo twerabiddewo. Kati oyire ennaku. Oh. Okay, that's good. Yeah, you spend 4 hours debugging something which is common. Ate nga bw'oba oli mufumo nga n'omukyala akunyiizizza. Okay. Yeah. So there are some small errors which come about, but that's the way we do it. In a simple steps, the images are there is some error in the images. We are not moving with the images, but that means we have to go to permalinks. Let's go to permalinks. Okay, it's coming. There's permalinks, then we can say what use that. Oh, okay, yes, good. And you save.
Okay. So in the file manager.
Yes, WP content. Then uploads.
Images are there.
2025. First go back to our pass. Want to verify 2025, then there should be a person walking something.jpg.
In 5, a person walking is here.
The person walking is there. First go back to the other one and you see how does it end. Because if your server is really having everything, that is the personal 1024 by 475.
At times it can be permission.
Yeah, but so what I want is what he has just said, that permissions or something. I want us to see if we load an asset at a path which we are seeing this is the actual path of this asset. Does it load? Because at first now that was to verify for us whether there is a problem. Yeah, so this is the image. So yeah, so what you are going to do, I want you to copy that URL, put it in Notepad.
Which one?
The URL to the image.
This one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, open Notepad there. you see we did a replace, but there could be something small that is causing a difference between the actual URL and what is being pulled. So you...
I agree with you.
Yes, there could be something small because this URL was just a replaced version. So we have this. Now I want you to go back in File Manager.
Mm.
Go back in File Manager where we were. Okay. Yes. In File Manager. I want us to test with this other image here. I think this image which is having bestseasons.jpg is smaller. No, I want one which is normal, that one. So bestseasons.jpg. So you go back the other side in Notepad. Just go back in Notepad. Copy that URL that you had, make a new copy, and then replace the whole of this after from a person. Yeah. I'd put their best seasons. Make sure it is the correct spelling, correct. There's a dash somewhere. There is a dash. HTTP moses.site. If everything is in line, try to copy that and we see. If you open that in a browser and it doesn't load, because really this is a public folder, it should be able to load if the path is correct.
Permissions.
So there could be something which is making the...
Let's go to permissions and we see if we are set to 755, right?
It is 644.
That is for
Put
the
it to
file.
775. That will be updates.
How about the
What about
uploads?
the permission of the folder?
The folder, give it WP uploads. Open there.
content is 750?
No,
Yeah,
that's content. Open inside content. Uploads.
Mr. Mukalele, if
Give
you,
it 755. Eh?
if
Change it to 7755. Eh? Hello. Just click on permission. Okay, yeah. No, remove the middle one. Even tick the upper one and down one. Down one. Yeah. Save.
Is that all?
Yeah, I think that's all about permissions of that folder, unless we want to give the www data.
You will be trying with the image that we were refreshing. You first go back and we zero down up to that image. So
it's not accessing this path. This is a 404 error.
Okay, first go inside the uploads. There should be something which is making us not access. Change that as well. 750 to 755. Go inside. Yeah, there is one more there down, which is 750. But I think that's not where our image was.
It's empty.
Okay. So the other ones were in 05, isn't it? First go back.
Yeah.
First go back again. Under 05 now there are files inside, isn't it? First right click on down of base seasons and we first see the permission which are there.
It's 5 o'clock.
Reading is everywhere. Okay. You can now when you go back up the chain, go back up the chain. There was a folder in that path which didn't have 755. You just go up the chain, continue up. Level up. Here. Uploads.
We have 2 more debugs.
See. Okay, go up again.
Another Kasa.
There.
Another
So even
debug, if that goes, we can. Another debug can be
yeah, it was yeah.
by uploading a new image and we see if it's seen.
Okay.
You get it?
Now you try that
Yeah.
and we see.
I think we
The
cannot.
moment it fails.
Yeah. It has now come. It was a permissions issue at that level of
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did it.
Now,
So I want to
I knew
debug.
there was something.
now
There permissions.
we've resolved that, but then I'm sure there's someone is confused. Yeah, it was permissions. So that Mr. Mkarere, could you try to explain, or Mr. Tugonza, the speaker, to explain to beginners, because I think this is the next question that is going to come from a beginner, or Madame Joan is going to ask on behalf of a beginner, that what does it mean? What's the difference between 0755 and between 0644? Because also there is 0777, 0777, which is very dangerous that people shouldn't use. But please, if you could break down for people how this comes about so that they understand what you meant by permission issues, and also break them the actual steps we've done in order to fully debug it, to fully debug the error.
Okay.
Actually, David, before he answers that, just to encourage people that next week we are going to be having a session, which is going, like Moses said earlier, which will detail many of the file issues that we've talked about here today. So this is to encourage those who are still in the call. Please come next week. I know he's going to explain now, but next week is going to be more detailed regarding the files. So I think even some of these file permission issues will be handled there. But Benjamin, please go ahead.
Okay. Now, this is what we have. I think let me share a little bit of my screen. Let me share a little of my screen. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So we have something we call permissions. WordPress files and folders permissions explained there. So we have this category of permissions. Mostly we use what we call in Linux, we use what we call X, R, and W. So we have, let me say, we have this R, which stands for read. Then we have also what we call W, which stands for write. And we have also what we call X, which stands for execute. So when we come to this permission, if we say a read, that means we can view the file content or list content. So all the content in here, we can read them. Then if we come to this here, we can modify. Delete the folder, delete the directory. So we have permission of directory, anyway, the spelling directory. So here we have that permission of that. Then we have this other one of execute here. So in execute, we can run a file script, all entire directory. Here we have all access. We can run them. So how do we do that? So we have the numbers here. We have what we call numbers. We have 7, we have 6, we have 5, we have 4, and we have also what we term as 0. So sorry, we have what we call this is 7, disturbing, stubborn, and we have this is 0. Sorry, 0. 0. So here on 7, that means we have R, W, and X. we can read, we can write, we can execute. These are 4 permissions if you see 7. So when we go to 6, when we see number 6, we can read and write. We don't execute. So when we go to number 5, we read and execute. We read and execute. This is X. When we go to 4, we read, we don't do this. Those dashes are this dash is X and this is W here. When you have permission, sorry, this was supposed to be 0. When you go to this permission, 0, we do nothing. Here we have no permission. So at times, if we do our config folder and we set it to 000, that means it cannot be read to any person. It has no permission. So the entire format comes about when it's RWX. I think you have seen that. It's RWX. That means here we say this is the owner. This is the owner of the file, can perform that. And the second one becomes, where's my pipe? Sorry, this is not the pipe. Where's my pipe? Oh, where's my pipe? Okay, the second one is group. The third one, my pipe again. Where is the pipe? The third one is others. So here, what it means that this first group we have given him 7. This is 7, and we also have given group 7, and we also given others 7. So that means the owner of the file can do the read, write, and execute here. If we, okay, let me go here. Let me help myself using tab. Let me use my tab. We can, okay, we are given 7. That means the owner can write, read, and execute. We give also the group 7 and also others 7. That's full access. That's why they said 7 is bad. There is someone who says 7 is bad. That means you are giving the owner the right to read. Again, the group is also getting access. Even others are getting full access. So if I'm the owner having this, that means I'll go back to say, let the owner be with RWX. Then we give the group, we can give the group to write. This is, we can give it to write, but we don't give him to read, right? And we give them to execute. That means here, it means, and the last one we can say, no permission to the group. This calls for a 7 in the owner, calls for a 5, we call for a 0. That means others what read. So what we are facing, we had full permissions of doing anything in the folder, because at first we had 750. So we had the owner had, the group had, but the others who we couldn't do any permission. So that means the outside, the public could not access, the public, the others could not access the upload files. So what we had to do, as we are debugging, we said, let the owner be with RWX. Then we said, let's give the group the write and execute, the read and execute. And let's also give the others, that's the public, to access our images, the R and X. So here we came up with a 7, sorry, not 7, it's a 5, sorry, it's a 5 and a 5. That means we are giving the others the right to read and execute. So now if we go deep into WordPress folders, this is what we have. WordPress recommends these permissions to all folders and directories. So we can set change mode. We set 755. This we are setting folder to folders. We are setting to folders / directories. directories. That means we are giving a folder permission. Sorry, the spelling, don't mind. We are giving the folder permission of 7 of the owner. We are giving them the groups to read and also write, others to write. So this is the recommendation by WordPress. So if we change any folder from this to 750, that means we won't see the outside. So here the owner has full control here. Then group and others here, what WordPress recommends here, owner has full control. Owner the owner has full control. Then the groups and others can read and write only. But remember, for example, if we set our WP content to 775, that means it's accessible outside to the world. But again, remember that we have a permission which is 644. So what is this 644? This 644 is only for files. So if you look, Mokas, you're going to share your screen a little bit. If we go to WP config.php, we are giving it 644. So if we look onto 644, what is 6? 6 is R minus W. Then 4 is only read. Others will only read. It will be read minus. That means our config folder no one will execute. That's a private folder. That's a folder which is too vital. If you give it a permission to be executed, any 7 in it, hackers can send bash scripts to the server. That means we are giving it to 6 and 44. That means as the owner, I can only write. This is the 6. I can write and read, but still the public, the group and others, they'll only be having a group 4, which is only read. So even if they send a script outside, they will have access to, they won't have access to our WP config. That's a little about that. Same applies to the htaccess. So this 644 always in WordPress applies to files that are too vital. So let me a brief summary. All files. I will ask Madam Joan. As we are going to for the 4th on 4th, we can go through into more details. More details into permissions, because we need to understand them well. And in real life, never to use this. This allows anyone to modify the files and everything, because this one has RWX. That means we are RWX. That means we are giving a owner 7, we are giving the group 7, we are giving the outside world 7. So it becomes dangerous. So that's a brief, but we shall go deep into that. But that's how permissions move. So for now, I can say that's all I have to share with you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for attending. I appreciate.
Thank you so much, Benjamin. It's been a pleasure having you. Thank you so much, good people, for sticking around. The numbers were good. Thank you so much, friends. In case any of you has an idea that you want to see in these meetups, please feel free to inbox me, to inbox David and Joan and other team meetup leads, and then we can organize a session for you. Thank you so much for coming for the session. We are so happy to have you. We usually have these sessions and we are going to be publicizing them a little earlier. Our next session, as you can see, is Behind the Dashboard, Understanding Core WordPress Files and Their Roles. It is hosted by WordPress Community Kampala, and it is there on Saturday, 4th of October, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Let's be there on time. The session is entirely online, and the link will be shared. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. For those who want to join, I have shared the link in the chat. Please be there. Please be there. It's going to be a beautiful session. Some of the files that you've been seeing us talking about, WP config, the core files, some of the folders, WP admin, WP content, they are going to be better explained there. Thank you so much, and until next time.